It is Chair Shot Reality on Wrestling Inc.'s YouTube channel. I am Justin LeBar, and man, oh man, what a week in pro wrestling it has been. We're going to talk about all the big topics, all the big injuries, all the big audibles called in the week of WWE here as we lead up to Survivor Series. But also, I got to say, in the wrestling world, this past Saturday here in Pittsburgh, IWC, winner takes all. Yours truly returned after an absence, but that's not even the top story. Even I can admit that's not the top story, as there is a new IWC Women's Champion, the queen of the silver screen, Katie Arquette. And look at this. Not only do you have the beautiful belt here on set, but we got to show the picture. Who better to crown you as champion but Mr. David Arquette? Uncle David giving you the title. Look at this.
Yes, it was pretty surreal. I was happy he was able to make it. I'm happy he was able to come.
Oh my
great.
God.
What?
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 Oh, wow.
Where's your world title?
I'm a Britt Baker fan. I'm sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh,
where's your
lost?
You got
so.
yeah, and now you have some schmuck who's your uncle give you the rub now because
that was a wonderful moment, and
That's
she
terrible.
tapped fair and square, so you can be happy that she gave up.
sure
so.
he didn't hit her over the head with a guitar. He did
where's
the
your-
DDP.
Where's your world title?
Yeah, where's your world title?
Back at home.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's get right into it here. WrestleRumble.com, of course we want to plug WrestleRumble.com this Sunday. Play along as you're watching Survivor Series. It's going to make things that much more enjoyable, and it's that much more unpredictable as things just changing by the hour. So as we know it right now, Becky Lynch not going to be at Survivor Series against Ronda Rousey as originally scheduled. And the big melee that ended Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, what happened?
Becky Lynch got busted the F open by Nia Jax. Broken nose, concussion. I mean, her entire face just, blistered and blew up as we saw the next day on SmackDown. They pull her out. She's medically disqualified at the moment. They insert Charlotte. But let's back up first. Let's just stick with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, the hottest thing going in WWE right now.
Nia Jax ruined it.
And gets a stiff potato from Nia Jax. And it wasn't even like that was like, the camera didn't even catch it. The camera was shooting stuff outside. It was an insignificant, just, it was a Royal Rumble kind of moment. Everybody's just touching everybody. And Nia Jax hammers.
I thought that was supposed to be an invasion, not a we have to defend so heavily that we knock out and ruin the entire pay-per-view because Nia Jax is a little bit reckless.
I don't think she meant it to be like that.
I don't think she did either.
It could work.
She has a history.
It could work.
Work what?
You see my T-shirt here. She might need another one. It's
Oh
WCW Power Plant. Get some more training. She has hurt 3, 4, 5 different women in the last couple of months. Am I right?
She's a beast.
Actually,
it plays up
Britt
a little bit
Baker
more
was
to
in the
that.
ring with her here in Pittsburgh some years ago.
And she broke her nose.
That was the,
well, didn't break her nose, I don't know, but she had some blood on her nose.
Her nose bled. It didn't break, but it bled.
Even though, I critique all this stuff, I mean, the circumstances now are crazy different in the favor of a Becky Lynch match maybe now at WrestleMania.
Yeah, first, with the Nia Jax thing real quick, here's what baffles me about is that, you go into this, you got all these women involved. Everybody knows that the everybody, Nia Jax, Lana, every secondary player that's out there, they all know that at the end goal, the 2 stars of the segment are Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. So, I mean, Nia turns and hammers her quickly, but she had to know. I mean, I don't know. Why would you?
That's what I'm saying. Why did you think that? Why did she think that was the right? Why did she? It wasn't that big of a. Well, again, it wasn't supposed to be like an invasion, like a beat down on them. Why did she? Why was she defending it so?
I don't know.
Well, she doesn't want to look weak. It's Nia Jax.
Okay, but
she's
looking
going
weak
to...
and throwing a full punch.
It happens. It happens. I don't think she meant it as. Duh. But it just,
I think
turned
she did.
and
She threw a lot of it in there. A forearm.
Well,
I don't know.
Looked like Lex Luger in there. Maybe she had a steel plate in her forearm.
The narcissist. So it happened. There's a lot of speculation. Okay, is anything going to happen to Nia Jax? I don't think so. I don't know.
Because she's family with The Rock? Of course not.
Well, but again, there is that old notion of sometimes these things, while you don't want anybody to get injured, I mean, it reminds everybody wrestling's not fake. It's true. Not like it kind of protects the business in a sense.
Yeah.
Now, certainly.
On accident.
Well, yeah. Now this could be the blessing in disguise. I know, you tweeted it. I talked about it, and a lot of thousands of other people have all drew parallels. They were already drawing parallels that Becky has a lot of stone cold in her.
Since the beginning.
Not a heel, not a face. She's just
the beginning of
badass.
this whole character thing. Some of us doubted that.
And Austin, on his rise in August of '97, he got dropped on his head by Owen Hart. Had to actually drop his title. Becky is still champion at the moment. He vacated the IC title, was gone, came back 3 months later, got revenge on Owen Hart in the storyline, and then he was off to the races to WrestleMania to win his first world title. So, I mean, some people were wondering, maybe this turns out to be okay. They're now doing Charlotte versus Ronda, which a lot of us thought would be WrestleMania this year. They're now bumping that up with 4 days of virtually no build. to Survivor Series because they got to give Ronda Rousey a match at, she's advertised to be an attraction
and I think
in LA.
that's the next biggest
So
one.
now Becky Lynch might end up being, and Becky is going full tilt on social media.
Exactly. She's responding to everything with a great response.
To Nia, calling Nia out, to Ronda.
Oh, yeah.
She's fully invested in this, and I think it is a blessing in disguise, and I think that WrestleMania with those two could be immensely more popular than it would be here, Survivor Series. And I think getting Charlotte and her now is not a bad thing.
All right. Because we have you on set here, right? So like a lot of people are wondering, and all of most people watching, they can think and watch and know and see as much as they want, but you've physically been in the ring.
Yeah.
Katie. You've been taught and trained how to throw a working punch in the best way possible. Tell me, how does that happen though? How, like what goes? I mean, Becky swatted at Nia a few times at the back of the head, and then Nia turns. I mean, how? I mean, Nia, granted, Nia is the strongest woman that's out there because of her size. I mean, is it a case of just not knowing your own strength?
It's a timing thing. Everything's a timing thing. As a punch goes, as a powerbomb goes, it's a timing thing. So if Becky's behind her, swatting away, and Nia turns, it's like throwing an elbow in a turn. Like you have to get it every time. And I've never seen Nia do something like that. So if Becky turned at just the perfect moment where Nia went to swing, and then perfect. It just hit her in the wrong spot. It happens. You can't avoid things like that because I mean Becky moved thinking. That's the thing. Becky went in with one thought, Nia turned and did something else. There was no communication there. That's the biggest thing. And with something like that, they invaded.
It's all chaotic. It's all improv, basically.
Right. There is no talking about it. So Becky was like, I'll quickly do this, and then I'll get in front of her. Well, Nia's like, well, I'm big and strong. I'll just turn and swat. And then they were...
Did she just not think it was Becky back there? Or was it just someone else
she
could just slug and what the hell does it matter?
I mean, it
it's
was
not the
from
main
behind.
one.
Well, I don't think Nia was going to be reckless to anybody, whether it's Becky or not. But I can believe that obviously, those things aren't real. The only things that are choreographed is how's the invasion start and how's it end. Everything else
like
between
you said,
that is just
like
kind
in the
of.
Royal Rumble. You know who's going to win. You know who's supposed to be the focal point. Don't mess with it.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, you
and
know.
it'd be different if it was. I don't know. It was just such
It's
a.
funny too because it created a great
thing.
vision. It created a great imagery of.
And for the moment, we all thought that was a great thing until we found out that she got pulled out of that. So.
Right.
And plus, I think it gives. I think they will give a nod to that and have a match down the line. Those two.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Might as well. I mean,
But you have to have Becky go over there.
Yeah, well, I always talk about when you pull things from real life, people always buy into it more. As long as they make sure that the Nia Becky feud and match is not centered around, oh, you gave me a real as long as they don't talk, because then that makes everything else come off as fake. They can't. They just have to say, oh.
No, she'll just say that she was lucky and got one when she wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, WrestleRumble.com. Make your predictions. Let's make our predictions real quick here. Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. I don't think there's any doubt that Ronda Rousey's not. I mean, if there wasn't going to be a title match anyways with Becky, it was going to be just a champion versus champion in a non-title situation. Because this is Charlotte. This is Charlotte. This was going to be probably her Mania opponent. Is there any chance that Charlotte gets anything on Ronda? A DQ win, a straight-up pin or submission win?
I think Becky might still be involved in this in some form.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see. How she can't be. Even just because you can't compete doesn't mean she can't make a run-in of any sort. I think Ronda will end up winning. I don't think there's any need for Charlotte to pick up the win here. Although in the past she's won all the big matches, title or not.
Yeah, but this would be Ronda's.
That's what I'm saying. I think you want to have Ronda. Now it's like safer. I think Becky had a chance to beat her if she'd still be in the match, just because it's champion. You can let that happen with Ronda. But with Charlotte, it's a free win for Ronda going forward against a credible opponent, and then hopefully you have a match against Becky at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it's too soon if Charlotte were to win. She has nothing to gain out of it right now, other than if she goes. There's no build to it, and Ronda is so. She's this badass that we're building up, which is why we wanted to see her and Becky, but unfortunate events. But I think whatever happens at the end will give Charlotte more incentive for later on. They'll have their match and have a good build to it.
Let me ask you this, Juice, before we toss to Josh for some more predictions. So, okay, if we all agree Becky versus Ronda at Mania, if we all agree Ronda's probably not going to lose between now and Mania, so she's still going to be Raw champion, does Becky not lose, and do you actually legit have champion versus champion at Mania with titles on the line, or does Becky lose a title somewhere along the way and still somehow...
I don't know about titles on the line. I don't know about that.
Because I'm just trying to think, I
think they'll find a way to...
How does Becky find herself? Does Becky drop the title and then she win the Rumble?
Yeah, I think something, maybe not even win the Rumble, because when they have something in the Elimination Chamber, wouldn't they have a chance to have a match with that as well?
Depending on what brand the winner of the Rumble is.
So there's a chance for that as well. I think there is a lot for Becky winning some sort of title at WrestleMania. I think that's the goal. Maybe it's from Ronda. Maybe there's a brand, a trade or something. There's a lot more going on. But I think now that everything's how it's positioned and Becky's already champion, I think the goal is to get it off her somehow and then have her get her big moment.
Can win up to $500 on WrestleRumble.com this Sunday. All you have to do is go on there, make predictions. It's not just who wins, but it's also over/under on suplexes. Oh, who gets eliminated first in this elimination match. Let's get some more predictions from Josh Eisenberg down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Raw vs. SmackDown is this Sunday in Los Angeles from the Staples Center. And although we've seen some title changes on Tuesday, we've seen some card changes for Sunday. I'm going to break down my main matches and what to look forward to. Let's start off big. Let's start off Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. The match that everybody thought WrestleMania 35 would close. Well, close no more, as Survivor Series is giving us a special treat thanks to Becky Lynch's injury. Ronda Rousey is going to win this match. Ronda Rousey is going to make Charlotte Flair tap out. And Charlotte Flair is going to go on either one of two ways. She's going to go back to the SmackDown Women's Championship and beat Becky Lynch once and for all. Or she's going to go to Raw after winning the Royal Rumble and get an opportunity again at Ronda Rousey. Just because this is the first instance doesn't make it any more special at WrestleMania 35. Well, I guess a little special. But bank your money on Ronda Rousey continuing to be undefeated in WWE. The men's Raw and SmackDown match. Who will be the lone survivor? If you're filling out your card, you gotta say Drew McIntyre, right? You gotta say McIntyre. This guy has been hot like not. He is on fire. The only person that could take his show is the man. But Drew McIntyre is the Scottish Terminator. He's been fantastically booked over the past couple of months, and he continues to impress as we've seen it over the past couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw's main event card. Drew McIntyre, the last person standing. I think on the SmackDown side, it's not going to be Jeff Hardy since he was a last-minute addition. Not going to be Rey Mysterio. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that Drew McIntyre actually eliminates Shane McMahon, exacting a little bit of revenge for his man Dolph Ziggler. And I think Drew McIntyre stands strong at the very end. The women's Raw and SmackDown matches. A lot of moving pieces the past couple of weeks. Ruby Riott, the last woman named on the Raw side. The SmackDown side, they still have an open spot, so who is on that spot? I think they go with Nikki Cross just because she did such a great job debuting in a match and got the crowd pop, and she'll get a crowd pop in Los Angeles, a very fan-friendly, mark-friendly environment. At the end of the day, though, I think Asuka, for the second consecutive year, is the last woman standing. She deserves it and needs it more than anybody right now. And whenever you head into January and WrestleMania season, don't be surprised if Asuka gets back up into the #1 contendership spot for that SmackDown Women's Championship. The men's tag team, well, it's going to be SmackDown, obviously. The Usos, The New Day, The Club, Sanity. The only one on the other side that really I care about is Rude and Gable because there's potential there. The Revival, come on, let's figure it out. I won't even watch this match. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not going to watch the pre-show. Well, maybe I'll watch the pre-show because I got a Too Sweet Me Daddy. Boom! Moving on, Intercontinental Champion, United States Champion, Seth Rollins going head-to-head against Shinsuke Nakamura. Enter a Dean Ambrose distraction. Enter Shinsuke Nakamura picking up the victory. And Shinsuke Nakamura, finally after this, getting an opportunity to feud, to build a long feud, and to get something very meaningful with Nakamura. It has potential to be good. You gotta let Nakamura be consistently on television. And I also think, this match is gonna be one of the best matches of the night. They give it 20, 25 minutes. Great opportunity for WWE fans who haven't seen Nakamura. If you haven't, you're crazy. Shine bright with a guy like Seth Rollins. Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan. What happens first? Brock Lesnar winning or Daniel Bryan being knocked out? I fear for Bryan's health. I know that's something that you shouldn't talk about anymore because he's healthy. He gets cleared through concussion protocol after each match, after each night. But at the end of the day, I think, and I've said this on my earlier part on CSR, they took AJ Styles out of this match and put Daniel Bryan in because they want AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar to go on the main event at WrestleMania 35. Keep this video, mark this video. Styles wins the Rumble. Styles goes on and faces Lesnar. And Daniel Bryan, although he's a heel right now, should be in line to face The Miz for the championship. But he's not. He's going to continue to be a heel Daniel Bryan, which is interesting. But this match is going to be all about Brock Lesnar and all about his physicality, his intensity, and a match that a lot of people were interested in seeing. I guess I'm okay seeing it. It's nothing. on top of my list, but I'm just interested to see how they execute this match. Enjoy Survivor Series, enjoy NXT War Games. I'm going to be tweeting live for NXT War Games, all of my thoughts, all of my predictions. That's what I'm most looking forward to this weekend. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Once again, CSR all weekend long, Wrestling Inc. Binge